what I anticipated whenever I got the co-owner role was essentially just being there hosting events, because our goal, or my goal anyway, when I got the role was.
Hey, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and we got one hell of a guest today, and that is...
What's up? djnuclear here, co-owner of Junction-3 and DJ for various other clubs here on VRchat.
Oh, wow.
Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure having you. I remember when we talked with DJ Woke Doggo a long time ago. Was last time we had heard from Junction. How did you get into VRchat and DJing, and what are you most? All of that. English, I could do that. I could do English.
You want me to pull it? You want me to pull it out of your ass so you can get it straightened up, or you want me to start again and we can go from the beginning?
I think I'm having a moment where I'm speaking the way you type.
Oh, thanks. That's really good. Yeah, it sucks. Yes. Thank you, sir, for bringing that up to our viewers. They enjoy.
How long does it take for you to type a simple hi? Like that's the question.
Okay, it's a good way to put it is like if you ever try to henpeck or drive nails. Yeah, I got big fat fucking fingers, and it's a bitch hitting the key.
Fair enough. Okay.
and I have dyslexia, so on top of it, so it looks like somebody trying to do shorthand that does never even know how to do shorthand. So it's pretty much screwed.
Well, got it. Good to know.
Well, let me speak the question properly. What got you into VR, and what you are known for? Like, how'd you get started with everything? There we go.
Good. That was a great question. So I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me catch my breath for a second. That was.
You fucked him up. See, I told you ruined it already. Damn it. We can't even get 5 minutes into the goddamn fucking commercial. And it's not a commercial for our broadcast, and you're fucking this up already.
Commercial.
Yeah, we're doing commercials, folks. Oh, boy. Now I'm confused. See, it's rubbing off. You asshole. You're rubbing off on me already. Damn it,
I'm not the only one.
Wow, I'm out here with a crazy man. Help me. Oh, Jesus.
All right. To answer the question, so I got into VRchat around, I can't remember if it's 2021 or 2022. I can't remember. But essentially, during the time that was like, yo, I want to get into VR, it was essentially when I started VRchat. And I got my buddy Mushu a headset because I ended up getting a bonus from the military. So I was like, all right, I'm going to use this bonus to get myself and my friend Mushu a VR headset. And from then on, like, we've just been not just playing VRchat, but like a bunch of like VR games and stuff like that. So, and we were questies at the time as well. And we didn't have a PC. So, experiencing VRchat in the Quest world was just kind of like, it's not that great. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that great. Props to all the questies. All the questies that play on just a standalone quest. Like, if you enjoy it, great on you. But for me and my buddy Mushu, like, we just didn't really enjoy it that much. But it wasn't until we got ourselves a PC and we were just like, now this is what VRchat's supposed to be like. So yeah. But like I said, it was back at like 2021, 2022 when we started getting into it's just VR in general, and then VRchat came along with it as well.
Okay. So
I got a question for him, Wayne. Wait a minute. Since he's already at this point, so when you first came into VR, what was the weirdest thing you saw? And you go, I'm out of here. Kiss my ass. I'm gone.
Ooh, that's actually a good question. So I think the weirdest thing that I saw, and this was like, God, I think this was our third day of being on VRchat. We witnessed ERP, like just ERP in public. And we were just like, what are they? Like, I was so confused. And deadass. I was acting so confused. I was acting so innocent. I was like, what are they doing? Oh, that's a dick. And then, at that point, we were just like, we need to leave.
Wait a minute. You don't have phobia. You don't have phobia over penis, do you? Jeez, there's a lot of it in here.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some weird shit in my life, and this is by far the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I just
that answers my question.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Okay. So, you saying that reminds me of the first time I actually saw ERP for the first time as well. I was actually in a drinking night, and I saw they had their fallbacks on, so it's two cacti up above the mirror wrestling, quote unquote. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing? I turned them on. Oh, they're naked. I don't like them. What are they doing up there? Everyone who's sitting at the mirror is trying not to awkwardly watch and look. Then one of them unmutes, so everyone's trying to really heavily enjoy their drink and watch the mirror without deadpanning the ERP session happening right there.
Nah, dead ass. Like I've been like, God, I've been on VRChat for so long that ERP is just a thing now. Like literally, the first time I got into the club scene, it was a lap dancing club, and usually after the lap dancing club, we go to like an after party or whatever, and that after party happened to be the drinking night world. And I'm not going to disclose any names because their privacy, but I will say, freaking one day we went to this after party, and we caught two of our friends who are a couple. They were just fucking, and I think the roulette room. They were just fucking in the roulette room, and all of us just literally go to them. We go into the room, and you just see my male buddy just looking outside, and it was just like, yeah, as he was going at it, it was just like, I was like, dude, come on, man.
Look on the bright side, Lion. He spins the roulette. I hope he gets 69 and actually wins the lottery, right?
Hey. Oh yeah. There was also one instance when we were just in the middle of an event, and one of my buddies, he was DJing, and then and then it was at Club Orion, and we heard two people just going at it on the top floor. We had the ceiling cover, so we didn't see anything, but we clearly heard it. And I go upstairs, I see them doing their thing, and then I go back downstairs. And I told the DJ what was going on because he had his mic on as he was still DJing, and he goes, and he gets on like the actual mic itself, and he goes, "Hey, shout out to the fucker fucking up there."
And
then like immediately they just stopped.
It's like two raccoons in your roof, and you're going, God damn it, I wish those bastards would quit stealing shit.
Funny times. ERP is funny to me. It generally is just funny to me.
It's all fun and games to realize what you look like outside the headset, and then it's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that is so true.
Hey, look on the bright side. There's only one person stepping in the wet spot, not two.
Yo. Oh, fuck, that's funny.
So out of this and into back into you, from when you first started, how did you get into the club scene and DJing and co-owning with Junction?
Yeah, so I got into the club scene. Like I said, the first club scene that I ever was a part of was Lap Dancing Club, and it was for a club called Club Mist. Yeah, and at first, like, I thought that was the only way, like, you could DJ in VRChat. Like, I didn't know there was, like, any, like, rave scenes or anything like that. It was, to me, when I hear a DJing at a lap dancing club, I was like, oh, well, this is probably the only time I'm going to, like, do my 15 minutes of fame before the actual show starts. And then, well, dancers come out, I hit the play button, and dancers do their thing. But then it was one day when one of our after parties, we went and raided Gray's event. And this is how I met Gray for the first time. So we raided Gray's event, and that's when I completely it completely opened my eyes to being all like, wow, rave is a thing in VR chat. Holy shit. And so, we were at that event just partying, raving and all that stuff. And next thing you know, I don't know if it was the owner of Mist or someone else from staff, but they went up to Gray and was like, "Yo, you gotta let djnuclear play, bro. Like he is really good. When he does his 15 minutes of fame, he's really good, and he's only on mouse and keyboard because I didn't have a DJ deck at the time."
Mm.
And Gray was like, "All right, you know what? This is our last DJ of the night. We'll open up to open decks and we'll throw him on. We have no one on open decks, so fuck it." And next thing you know, the DJ who was just playing just ended, and Gray goes up and was all like, "Yo, give it up for djnuclear." And I was like, "What? What the fuck?" I had no idea what's going on here, but I was like, okay, I'll go up there and shoot my shot, I guess. And I was just completely wigging it. Like, I had no idea what was going on. Gray told me I had an hour to do whatever I wanted. I was like, okay. And I was panicking because I wasn't prepared for that at all, but I completely winged it. And it sounded good apparently because like a lot of people were just dancing and jamming and all that stuff. And then after my set ended, Greg comes up to me and goes, "Dude, you need to be a DJ for us. Like, come DJ for us." I was like, "Okay." And so after that, I became a DJ for them, and I'm still a DJ to them since 2022.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then as far as me becoming a co-owner, so that one I became a co-owner in January of this year, actually. And essentially, what happened there was one of our previous co-owners, he stepped down. Jnu, he stepped down from the throne. And at that point, I contacted Gray. I was like, "Hey, like, I it's sad to see that Jnu left, but if you guys need a co-owner spot, like, hit me up." And from that point on, he made me a co-owner. And I'm still at it to this day. So it's definitely a rewarding experience. I like being a co-owner for Junction. It pretty much it's definitely stressful, I'll tell you that much. Being a co-owner for a club is definitely stressful, but it is definitely rewarding in the end, and that's what I like about being a co-owner in Junction. So
Okay. So I have another question for you. How is DJing for a proper rave club different from what you're used to at a risque dance club?
what do you mean by like risque dance? Oh, are you
Risque
talking
dance
like
club.
lap dancing
Yeah,
stuff?
Yeah. How is it different, DJing
Okay.
one different from the other?
So, yeah, it's definitely different because when it comes to DJing at a lap dancing club or an exotic club, if you some people like to call it, it all you're doing there is you're just essentially just playing music that the dancers request. So the dancers will shoot you a message saying that, "Oh, I want you to play this song when I dance," or whatever. And then you just save it onto like your hard drive or whatever. You save it onto a playlist, and then whenever that day comes and they go on stage, you just hit the play button. And you just sit back and let them do their thing. Um, but as far as the rave scene is concerned, that one you have to, like, you can pretty much play whatever you want. Um, Kind of. Depending on the event, there may be like a set genre that you have to play. But when it comes to like actually playing on your deck or whatever, you just play whatever you want. And it's also very. It's not like as laid back as if it is like in a live dancing club. You're actually like on your deck, turning the knobs, spinning the jog wheel, all that crazy stuff. So yeah, it definitely being a rave DJ definitely does take some skill. It's also not that hard to learn either, in my personal opinion. Some people may say that it's difficult to learn how to DJ, but for me, it didn't take me that long. I started DJing when I was 16, but I was like on and off when it comes to like actually DJing. Not full time, but like on my free time. And I started getting back into like DJing for when I turned, oh God, how old was I? I think I was 23, 24 at the time, and I'm 26 now. So I've been like full on DJ for like 2, 3 years, and it wasn't that hard to get back into. I'll tell you that much. But for some people, like I said, practice makes perfect. You know, like if you're an up and coming DJ, God, my words. You know, if you're struggling as far as like learning how to DJ, like just practice. That's what I do. I just practice. The majority of my week, I just practice DJing and stuff like that. And if that's what you need to do to be good, do it. Don't give up. Because giving up, like I did back when I was 16, because I started DJing when I was 16, and then I gave up because I didn't have the proper equipment, nor was I was focusing like, or sorry, not nor, and I was also focusing on school as well. So like, I had to give up, But now that I have the free time to actually like DJ, like, I practice a lot, and if you're an up and coming DJ, just practice. Practice makes perfect, always.
Some of the things we've heard from a lot of DJs we've talked to as well is there's a few different colloquial ways I think that a lot of people get better. And one is the public instance, like the Club Orions and stuff like that, just hop in and play, which indirectly will also help you get kind of interconnected, because from what I understand, a lot of people will attend those public instances of like the Club Orions, for an example, or the public club instances, and there's so many options for clubs for you to play at if you're a new DJ, where you could do multiple shows a night if you want to get good at it. And no one in VRChat is going to tell you you're never to play or DJ again. You'll hear a lot more ways to get better at, or a lot more encouraging words from in here than anything else. I think that's like a VRChat staple.
Yeah, absolutely. No, like if you want to get your name known out there, then yeah, like setting up public instances of Club Orion is a great way to start. Especially if you practice a crap ton and you want to throw your music out there. Doing public instances like Club Orion, also social media as well, like YouTube, TikTok, like TikTok Live and all that stuff, like or even Twitch. Like there's a lot of platforms that you can use to put yourself out there, and that's what I need to start doing. Me personally, I mean, I post most of my sets that I do on YouTube, but when it comes to like lives, I want to start doing that more often, so that way I can kind of throw myself out there. But I mean, hey, as far as me DJ for VRChat and throwing my sets on YouTube, I mean, it's working well so far. So
I have a question. Shoot, I have one after you.
Oh, ain't that nice? You're gonna share. Oh, what is one of the hardest things in being a DJ that you've noticed, and what can you hopefully down the road that you'd like to see VR improve on to help you out more?
I'm gonna say mixing songs. I mean, it also just depends on the genre as well, because like if it's house or techno or something, those genres are really easy to mix 2 or 3 or 4 songs even together. But when it comes to like, I don't know, dubstep or hardstyle or something like that, like it's very doable to mix. But it definitely takes a lot of practice and a lot of time to actually get those mixes down. And I feel like if I want to be proficient in regards to mixing hard genres, I just have to, just put my time and effort into it more. I mean, I put time and effort into my DJ sets all the time. But usually when it comes to like, for example, I have a set coming up in a few hours. So, but I took one day to practice. But I feel like if I want to practice like a very hard genre, like dubstep or hardstyle or something, I have to take like a week. I have to take like a week and say, all right, I'm going to practice for a week straight. So that way I can get these mixes down. I'm going to jot down like all the songs I'm going to play in these mixes and stuff like that. So it definitely takes a lot of time and practice and a lot of patience as well, because and I say patience because like you could be practicing or whatever and you try to mix two songs together and it just sounds like shit and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna backtrack here, see what other song I can find to potentially mix into this, and and sometimes it doesn't go well. Sometimes it doesn't go according to your plan. That doesn't mean you should give up right then and there. Like, just take the time and patience and do what you can to do some cool mixes.
Only through failure will you ever get better at anything.
Exactly. Yep.
What about the second part of my questioning? What about what would be in VR to help you improve your setups and stuff like that you wish VR would kick out?
Wait, are you saying like what like if I were to continue DJing in VR, like what equipment could I use to better my setup and stuff like that?
Let me translate a bit for you. What could VR chat or social VR do or implement to make what you do easier?
Oh, honestly, the video players, because like ever since like these new updates started coming out for VR chat, the video players just kind of it's kind of like iffy when it comes to like posting your live link or whatever, and sometimes it'll just cut out, sometimes it'll just it'll just stutter or whatever. I feel like in order to make that easier, I feel like they should like VR chat should be able to say, oh, if you're doing like a DJ set or something, like this is the bit rate that you should use on your streams. This is the resolution you should use and the links and all that crazy stuff. Yeah, because it's definitely frustrating whenever like your audio starts stuttering or just completely stops, or the video or the visuals is just crappy because that it's just not catching up, so to speak.
Okay. So that's good to know. I have a question for you as well, since you mentioned you post your sets. As a VRChat DJ, do you see more people attend the real life event, the live stream, or your posted sets on YouTube? Which do you think people interact with more?
So I don't do IRL DJing yet because I don't have the proper equipment for that. But I do want to do that in the future. But in regards to like, do people interact more on VR chat or YouTube? I'm gonna say VR chat, mainly because people are there right then and there, just watching your set and all that crazy stuff. And yeah, you might get some views here and there on YouTube, but it's not as close as to the actual event, so to speak. But I do like every time I do post my link on or my stream on YouTube or my DJ set on YouTube, I do send it out to like my friends and family who are into this kind of stuff. And they always watch it. So I mean, I get those views right then and there. So
okay. Alrighty. So with that said, I take it you've explained to some of your family then what you do. Is that an easy thing to explain to people who've like never been a VR chat rave before?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my dad was a prior DJ as well. He used to spin vinyl, and not like the modern turntables that we have nowadays. He used to spin vinyl, and he was the one that actually got me into the DJ realm. He taught me the basics on how to DJ and stuff like that, and it was very easy to catch on to what he's teaching me and stuff like that. So I guess you could say I have a gift, so to speak. But But as far as me telling my family, like, yeah, I DJ at VRchat, I told him that. I told my dad that I DJ in VRchat, and he actually thought it was really cool. He said that, wow, that's actually pretty interesting. Like you're DJing in the VR metaverse because he's into VR too, or
Oh, wow.
kind of. Not as much as I am. Not as much as I am, but he's also he's played VR before. He's really intrigued in VR and all that crazy stuff. So he thought it was really cool. My buddy Mushu, he thinks it's really, really cool. He comes to not all of my events, but like most of my events, just to see me play and stuff like that. And I always see him jamming out as I'm doing my set. So like, it's really cool.
Well, I've heard a few times people who have like family who DJs and they've been super interested in the whole thing. What was your father's kind of initial reactions to being in a VRchat rave compared to what he's used to? And yeah, I'll lead with that question first.
No, you're good. So when I showed him one of my sets of me DJing in the VRchat world, it also had a picture of actually or not a picture, but like a video of my avatar just going at it. He looked at me. It was like, or he texted me in response to being all like, "That's kind of weird. Like, what are you actually doing?" I'm just like, "Oh, I just have the headset like above my head, and I just have my controller set to where I'm able to actually control my DJ controller and stuff like that." He was really intrigued on that. He thought it was actually really impressive that I can DJ with the VR headset on and go at it. It's really, he says it's really weird but also intriguing at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I've always been curious sometimes about people who've brought people from the outside in and what those initial responses were, their corporate or family, because I know VRchat could be a really hard thing to explain to people a lot of the time. As I've said, a reference I give a lot is when I try to explain, I feel like the aliens guy from History Channel pointing at a map, some of the background lines going everywhere, and like, this guy's a wackaloon. So I've always been interested to kind of hear kind of how other people have done it and what were the responses from the whole experience.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, my friend Bushu, he's totally into it. Or he's trying to get into it. He always loves watching my sets. But he'll usually just stay for that until he gets like burnt out. But as far as like my dad and all that, like he thinks it's really cool that I'm DJing regardless. Like he doesn't care if I like DJ in the VR chat or IRL. He even told me at one point, he's all like, yeah, we need to like do like a collab together at some point at like a club. I was like, yes, we should. Let's do it.
Speaking of that, have you ever pulled them into a VRchat club to have your dad DJ? Since you do co-own one with Junction.
So no. And the main reason is because he doesn't have a DJ deck. So the setup that he had was, oh god, this was back when I was in elementary, middle school. He had his own like DJ setup and all that stuff. But he ended up selling it at some point because he just ended up losing interest a little bit. And it was kind of just getting neglected. So he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna sell it to get some extra money out of it. But he, ever since I started getting into it, he's been wanting to get back into it. Only because the idea of father and son DJing together is just I can't think of the word, but it would make him really happy if like we did that together, and it would make me happy if we did that together because I think it's cool.
That'd be a really unique way to bond with your father. I think I'm sure most parents would enjoy having that shared interest in a skill or some craft of some sort, like DJing or music.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have another random question for you. It's a bit off left field a little bit. Since you have mentioned you're a vet, how is the culture different from when you first came into VRchat compared to what you do as a career?
Oh man. So it's definitely different. I'll tell you that much. I will say, what happens in the workplace stays in the workplace, especially if you're in the military. Uh, Except if you're talking about like, what you went through at like, field missions and stuff like that, in which I talk about that stuff all the time. But when it comes to like the shit that we say or like the things that we do, it's just like, we shouldn't disclose that, like, because it'd be really sus. It'd be really sus if we were to just be all like, blah 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 blah, and then it just sounds really bad in the civilian eyes.
Okay. So another fun question: since you grew up in a musical household with a father who DJ'd, how did you end up in the military in the first place?
So my dad, he's a Marine vet, I should
Ah.
say. And the things that we do is just like, to be from the get go was to be like him and join the Marines. And I ended up getting turned down by them because my dumbass told them I have a cyst on my right hand, or sorry, left hand pinky knuckle. And it's benign, so it's not like cancerous or anything. It's just, it's just one of those things that's just like, well, you probably can't join because it may affect you in the long run or whatever. So yeah, the Marines just kind of turned me down. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go to my second option, Army. I ended up joining the Army. I didn't tell them shit about my cyst. So yeah, here I am, still in the Army. I've been in the Army for 6 years now, and my happy ass is getting the fuck out in December.
Well,
So
I'll say thank you for your service. It's much appreciated.
no need to thank me. I'm just doing what I can, so to speak.
Well, to be fair, that's not something a lot of people would want to volunteer for anyway. So it's still very much appreciated, especially nowadays.
I appreciate you.
Not a problem. So since we last talked with DJ Woke Doggo a long while back, what has Junction been up to? Because it's been a long time.
So Junction has been doing a lot. So we ever since you talked with Grabe, which what year was that? I keep forgetting.
I think it was like 2023, 2022, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Late 2022.
So okay. Yeah, it was probably late 2022. So we started doing EU events in which I'm hosting for, and we're trying to grow our not just NA based but also EU based as well. And I'll tell you now that's been a struggle on its own. But we're still going at it. We're still doing what we can to, grow the community itself. Because that's our main goal, is to grow the community and to have events and have everyone have a good time. And we are also starting to do community nights as well, which actually this Saturday will be our first community night ever in VR or in Junction. Yeah, so we're excited for that. Gray, I think he was saying he wanted to do like laser tag or something like that. And I'm just like, that actually sounds pretty bitchin', not gonna lie. So yeah, we might go do laser tag on Saturday. It'll be pretty fun.
Sounds fun.
And then oh yeah. And then we also keep getting new DJs coming in as well. So, we every time we get a new DJ in, we give them an opportunity to have them DJ for us at an event. So, and it's really exciting to hear, these new DJs playing their sets and stuff like that. So it's a fun experience.
Okay. So on the in the terms of like you being a DJ as well as a co-owner, hearing some of the things you've been doing to try and grow the community, what was it you expecting getting into the role versus what was it actually like? Was it what you anticipated it being, running a community versus playing for one? Hello, just real quick, I'll only take a few seconds of your time. In the description that way you have a card, metaversedegen.card.co. We have many links down there for you to come check out. We have an X link, which is with me. We have a Discord where we hang out and do stuff all the time, as well as a Patreon link, where if you wish to support us, you can. Where there's also a show and another podcast separate from Metaverse Degen, that which we have available to our wonderful members who signed up, such as Niche, Training Fangs, Aliquum, and Forbidden Zero. Thank you all. You're all amazing. Enjoy the rest of your video. I won't take up any of your time.
So what I anticipated whenever I got the co-owner role was essentially just, being there hosting events, because our goal, or my goal anyway, when I got the role was, okay, I'm gonna grow our EU-based community by just throwing EU-based events every Friday or every other Friday, and experimenting a little bit to see what gets people's attention. And I will say, like I said, that's been a struggle on its own, because yes, sometimes we'll get people coming in, but they don't stay. Essentially, we get people coming in and they'll jam out for a solid maybe 10-15 minutes, and then they just dip out. And it sucks to say it, but I think that's just the reality of VR chat in general. When it comes to hosting rave events and stuff like that, I think that's just the reality of VR chat in general. People will just come in and jam out for a little bit and just go out and do something else, like exploring a world or something like that. And it's like I said, it sucks, but at the same time, what can you do? You can't really do much.
Some of the things we've heard from other VRChat club owners is it can be also difficult running events at the same time or day as other big events. Like if Slyfest or Shelter or something is running an event, usually those bigger places will pull people from whatever event you're running as well. Something we've heard a few times.
Yeah, that is definitely right. If it's a really big, if it's a really big event going on, I know Hypothetical is a really big club out there, and if they have something going on and they're popping off, it is definitely hard for smaller clubs or even mid-tier clubs to pop off. But I mean, you just gotta be positive about it, and that's what I always do. I always be positive about it. Yes, we may have 2-3 people in the instance or whatever, but hey, as long as you're having a good time, right? That's essentially what I do. In the end, as long as I'm having a good time, that's all that really matters. And as far as trying to grow our community, you just gotta just keep trying and don't give up, because if you the moment that you give up, well, you can't really grow anymore, can you? So
what are some of the challenges in a growing community, and why how have you guys been trying to tackle that problem? Is it easy in the current era of VR chat, raves in the music scene to grow, or do you find it to be a challenge?
It's a mixture of both. So it's definitely hard to keep the community that we currently have, because we do have people that come in our Discord and then leave a few minutes after or something, or a few days after or something. So yeah, our biggest challenge right now is to keep our current community. And I think the main reason why people are leaving Junction is because of the fact that we do ID verification. And I get it, showing your ID to the public is kind of skeptical, but that's why we say black out everything. Just black out everything besides your picture and your birthday. That's it, right? We don't need to see anything else or whatever. But people, and like I said, I get it. People are still kind of skeptical of that, showing their ID to the public and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, it's mainly just keeping the people in. That's a big challenge. And I think one way to continue to grow our community, and we're working at it actually currently, is to throw collabs with different clubs. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So what has made Junction to want to make the decision to ID verify members? Because I know there are certain types of clubs here in VR that do that, but in the rave scene, I don't see it as common.
So I didn't witness this myself, but from the stories I've heard, minors just kept joining Junction. Or actually, it wasn't Junction at the time. It was Ferret and Friends at the time before it became Junction. But yeah, basically, just minors just kept joining the Discord, and they were just essentially just kept getting bypassed and stuff like that because we didn't do ID verification at the time. And it got to the point where I don't remember if it was Gray or another co-owner, but they were just like, nope, we can't do this anymore. We have to do ID verification because the minors just keep coming in like freaking flies. It's ridiculous. So that's why we do ID verification now.
Okay. So do you think minors belong in the VR chat rave scene as a question?
Yes and no. I think it's okay for them to, be a part of a club that is strictly for minors, right? And but at the same time, you doing that could also lead to predators coming in as well. So actually, now that I think about that, I think it's a big no in general because like you got people in the rave scene or getting high or getting drunk and all that crazy stuff, and people will do stupid things when they're high or drunk. Let's be honest, people will do stupid things when they're high or drunk. So and I'm guilty of this too. I will do stupid things when I'm high or drunk. So like I don't think it's fit for minors at all.
Okay.
I changed my answer.
Alrighty. So do you see minors come in often nowadays as your Junction or within the rave scene as you've seen?
Kind of. There will be times when we will do like public instances, and we will see, people coming in that are somewhat suspicious. Like a prime example of this, we had an EU event a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, and one of our staff members caught someone who basically had no bio, had no badges, was basically I think their trust rank was a visitor or something like that. And that does raise suspicion. That does raise red flags. And so after my staff member told me that, I was like, okay, all staff members like focus on that dude, see what he does, see what he sounds like, and all that crazy stuff, or he or she. And if that person is a minor, we got to get rid of him like instantly, right? Um, and so that's what I did, or that's what I told them to do. They were investigating, and then come to find out it's just an adult male, just coming to VR chat for the first time and exploring things and stuff like that. And there were a couple of times when we do these public instances that a minor did actually show up, but we caught it like really, really quick. And we were like, okay, you need to go. You shouldn't be here. Go back to Chuck E. Cheese's or something,
That whole sentiment of children not belonging in VR chat I've noticed is from what I've seen as an opinion, people who are in the club scene, whether you're in a dance club or rave club versus the general VR chat public, generally have varying opinions on children. Like those who have never been in a VR chat club will say children are fine here. Those who have been in a VR chat club around drunk adults, partying, dancing, they'll say no a lot of the time. And I've noticed there's that weird line between the two groups of people in VR chat, which is it's interesting.
Yeah, no. In my personal opinion, with the way things VR chat is now, there are a lot of people in VR chat that are child predators or that are, you name it. They could be. They're bad. They're bad for minors. Let's just put it that way. So I feel like with the way things VR chat is now, minors shouldn't be on this platform unless they are playing with their close friends and their close friends only. They shouldn't be going to public instances or at like clubs, rave events, any of that. If they want to play VR chat, that is perfectly fine. If they want to, explore worlds, that's perfectly fine. But only do it either by yourself, make a private instance, or go with your friend at a private instance. That's it.
So
VR with the. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you continue.
I was
I
just saying
apologize.
that. No, you're good. With the way, like I said, and I've said this multiple times already, with the way things are, public instances, don't do it. If you're a minor, don't do it. Don't go to public instances, because you never know where you're going to run into, and you could end up running into someone who is a child predator or something.
Something I'm surprised VRChat hasn't done, or I think they should do, is separate the adult and kid population, kind of like YouTube Kids, YouTube, Netflix Kids. At least that way, when you have a certain type of adult in that environment, they're going to stand out like a sore thumb versus the regular VRChat populace. But then that also puts VRChat on the same lines of having to deal with ID laws versus various countries, and how would you do that appropriately? That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, no, it definitely does sound like a nightmare. I feel like if they were to implement something like that, it would just be a complete shit show. Because I feel like if they're gonna do that, I feel like in order to verify that you're actually 18 plus, like, you gotta do the ID verification thing, and that could take. I don't know how big the VR chat staff is, but like, if it's small, it's gonna take like months for you to get verified to be an adult. Like, it's just I don't see it coming anytime soon, to be honest.
No, I don't see it either, and honestly wouldn't want VRChat to deal with that kind of legal and technical nightmare. That would be thousands of IDs at the same time, having to tell what is a kid using an adult ID or not. That just sounds like an absolute terrible nightmare. But if something was to appropriately come by with, like, this is VRChat Kids and VRChat Adults, that'd be, at least if it's an option, you make an account, that'd be cool to see. At least I'm sure as parents will help their kids make accounts, they can just click kids and they'd off they'd go. I don't know.
Yeah, if they do what some games do, like if you're a minor or whatever, and you get your parents' permission to play this game or whatever, because I've talked to because I grew up in a family, so I talked to I talked to multiple parents about this, including my own, and I'm like, hey, so like, what do you do in regards to like getting your child onto a game that they really want to play, but they are underage and stuff like that? They're like, well, there are some games out there that you have to you have to get parental permission to actually play this game, and do some sort of verification that way, that you're the actual sole guardian of that child. But a lot of times, and when I talk to parents about this, a lot of times they will do their research as far as what this game is actually about. So my sister, who is also a minor, plays VR chat as well, and that was because my dad allowed it. However, my dad's rule was to only be at private instances. Do not go to like public instances or whatever. And that's why I say, and that's why I'm telling minors who are potentially watching this video to like steer clear away from public instances, because you never know where you're gonna run into. And that's exactly why my dad made that rule up, as far as my sister playing VR chat. And she's smart. Like, my sister is very, very smart. She can catch on things really, really easily. And so if something were to happen, like, she's gonna either leave, or if it gets too bad to like to where the person's like stalking her or something, like, oh, too easy, like, she knows how to sue. She can make that happen.
Yeah, that's good to know. So I'm going to divert this conversation a little bit in another direction. What have been some of your favorite instances becoming a VRChat DJ or involving yourself with a club? What keeps you doing it?
So I just like playing music for people. Like, that's my main reason why I love DJing in VR chat is mainly to, just play music for people, and especially if it's the type of music that they like. And it's fun for me because I every time I DJ, I always look at my screen, regardless if I'm on desktop or VR. I always look at my computer screen to see if people are jamming out, and that's what gets me pumping. People dancing, people jamming out or whatever, and it could just be like one or two people, right? And it what really pumped me up on one set was a couple weeks ago. I was doing a dubstep set, and I just see a group of people just essentially doing a mosh pit, like just fighting each other, and I was like, I like that. I like that. That made me so happy. I was like, yo, like I got on the bike. I was like, yeah, beat his ass, beat his ass. It was so fun. But yeah, no, I just enjoy it because I like to see people dancing. That's what gets me pumped up, and that's how I even put it in most of my DJ applications. Like, if people are dancing, I'm a better DJ that way. Like, that's usually how it goes.
Okay, so as a VRchat DJ, when you were just starting coming in, did you just stick with Junction, or did you try to like get into other clubs and play for them once you kind of ventured into the rave scene? And was it easy to like work with other clubs?
Yeah, so I stuck with Junction for like just strictly Junction for a long while. And this was before I became a co-owner for them. But essentially once I became a co-owner, Gray came to me and he was like, yo, I'm gonna make you DJ. I'm gonna have you play at other clubs. Like, I'm just gonna show you some other clubs and I want you to apply for them. I was like, okay. And I was very scared because I was like, I don't know these other clubs on like Junction. Like, Junction's my second home, right? It's a place that I like to go to just not just play at events or host or just be a staff at an event or whatever. But it's I know pretty much a lot of people there, if not all of them. And just chatting with them, it just makes me feel like I'm home, whereas with these other clubs, I don't know the majority of the people there. So it's just like, I mean, I'll DJ for you, but I don't know if I'll carry a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then also, it's also hard to, DJ at certain clubs as well, because some clubs they play on the weekdays, like they have an event on the weekdays. And with me being in Europe, it's very hard for me to be like, yeah, I'll DJ for a Wednesday or something like that, because by the time it starts, it's going to be 3:00 in the morning and I have work in 3 hours. So it's just like, I can't do that. So, yeah. So essentially I just, for those types of clubs that play on the weekdays, I'm like, can't DJ for you. I am so sorry. I gotta bounce, and it sucks because I want to DJ for more clubs, and Greg gave me that motivation to do that. And there are some clubs that I do DJ for, like Abiotic and Midpoint, and what are some other ones? I did DJ for Closey Club once. I do want to DJ for Hypothetical at some point, but there's just a lot of clubs that I can DJ for. But then there are also some that's just like, well, since you're a weekday, I can't do that, and it sucks. Until I get back to the States in December, I can't do it.
I have a club I could suggest to you because I've become good friends with the guy, Vanguard of the Tim Boy. Really good community.
Yes.
EU based.
Yes. Gray actually mentioned that to me, Vanguard. And actually we were talking about potentially doing a collab with them at some point, and even potentially partner with them as well, because we still have yet to partner with an EU club. And we're trying to figure out, like, what club should we, partner with. And Vanguard was definitely, it definitely caught my eye, because I definitely did see their VR chat group, and I saw that they had like a bunch of people people in their VRchat group and a bunch of people on their Discord. So I was like, yo, that would be cool if we partnered with them. But then I did see, however, that they're a 16 plus club, not an 18 plus. So that kind of raised a red flag for us because we're an NA based club. So it's like, I get it, you know, the age of consent in EU is 16. That's totally understandable. That's not the issue. It's just the more of partnering with an NA based club, which is an 18 plus club. So it raised some conflicts, but Gray was just like, oh no, it's perfectly fine. Like if we end up doing events with them or whatever, we just got to make sure that, you know, we bump up the age to 18, not 16. And stuff like that. So we might end up doing a partner, or not partner, but we might end up doing a collab and potentially partner with them in the future.
Well, it may not be anything with age of consent, because I know drinking age in the EU is very different versus the US. Like US is 21, but over in the EU or other places across the world, it's like 16, 18, whenever you could reach the counter of the bar as well.
Yeah. So in Germany, because that's where I'm at right now, in Germany, age of consent is 16, and age to drink with parental supervision is also 16, and age to drink without parental supervision is 18. And smoking, I think, is 16 without parental permit or without parental supervision. I can't remember anything else, but yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, if you ever want to play for a club, I would heavily suggest Vanguard. I've been to some of their events, and it's a great place. I would suggest it, at least as a DJ.
Yeah, I'll definitely check them out for sure. I'll probably end up joining their Discord and applying for a DJ, at least to start.
Okay. So over time, since you've been in the role as a co-owner, have you viewed the rave scene differently and all? Do you view VRchat a little differently getting into the role?
So yeah, when I got into the role, or actually, let's backtrack a little bit. Before I got into the role, I was a head event staff at one point, and ever since I got that role, I took things very seriously. Like there would be times when I would, you know, obviously joke around and party with people and stuff like that. But then there would also be times where like, okay, poker face on, what the hell is going on over there? You know, that kind of thing. And the same thing happened when I became co-owner. Like, granted, like I would staff as well, and essentially when I go into like an event and I'm staffing over there, I essentially do the same thing like I would as a head event staff, but instead of, you know, actually like doing something, I also you know, I would trying to think of a proper phrase, but like command my troops, so to speak, right? Like, hey, something's going on over there. I want you to go check that out, see what's going on, report back to me whenever you see something suspicious or whatever. And then yeah, stuff like that. And then also with me being a co-owner, like it's very stressful trying to book DJs and stuff like that. But like I said in the beginning, like it's very rewarding in the end, especially if you got a big crowd, because like who doesn't want a big crowd in their club, you know?
Fair. So another fun question that's related but also a bit different. Since getting into the role of being a co-owner of a club, have you viewed your bosses in your day job differently, or do you have any more or less respect for what they do?
No, not necessarily. So yes and no. So I do have bosses in my real job, as pretty much anyone does, unless you're an entrepreneur or running your own shit. But like when it comes to work and what happens in the club are two completely different things, and I keep those things separate. So yes, I am, you know, obeying orders at my job, and I am, you know, doing constant tasks and stuff like that. But when it comes to being a co-owner, that's a completely different ball game. You know, I'm doing co-owner things, so to speak. So, but yeah, those two jobs are just completely separated. And I tend to keep them separated because I feel like if I were to be a quote unquote co-owner in my real job, I'd probably get kicked out, honestly.
Fair. I was just kind of curious, is like not in the sense of like both are similar, but in the sense of being in a leadership role over someone, being responsible for something larger than yourself. That was the kind of thing I was more alluding to, not necessarily VRchat raves in the military are the same thing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. So I'm also in a leadership role in my actual job as well. So I'm a sergeant, which is a E5 in the military, or E5 in the Army. And you know, with that, you're known what's called a non-commissioned officer, so therefore you have leadership roles. You do have soldiers that you have to take care of. You do have soldiers that you can task them out to do whatever and stuff like that. But like I said, even then, that's still different compared to like what happens in the club. You got like the military that you have soldiers to take care of, and you task them out to do whatever. Whereas a co-owner, you're freaking essentially a commander for pretty much everyone in there, if that makes sense. I'm just using military terms at that point. I'm not actually like, hey, you go over there and do that. Like, I don't actually do that.
Okay.
But but when it comes to like being a co-owner for a club, like there are some things that you have to take very seriously, and it's very different than what's actually going on in the military as well.
Okay. Sorry to put that weird question on. I figured I'd ask, at least the curiosity's sake.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm sorry for explaining it kind of weirdly.
No, you did nothing wrong at all. I like asking weird questions sometimes, and that's among the list of some things I've pulled from. So before we start wrapping up a little bit, I do have a few other questions for you. One is, where did you get your name, djnuclear?
Oh man, so I got my name djnuclear shortly after I got into the VR rave scene. So before I became djnuclear, I was in VRchat. I don't remember if I was Wimpy Nuke or Sir Nuki. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I was one of those two names, and I pretty much kept that name when I was DJing for the lap dancing club. And then after I figured out the rave scene, I still kept the name for a good like 3-4 months before I decided I need to have a DJ name. And so djnuclear came into mind because call me a psychopath, but I am a nuke fanatic. I love fucking nukes. I don't understand why. I just do. I love seeing the mushroom cloud. I love seeing the fucking flash. I like hearing the flash to bang. I love it all. And it's funny because that's also part of my job description in the military. So it's very like I said, call me a psychopath, but I just love it. I don't know why. Now, I'm not a complete psychopath though, because if I were to see one actually IRL, like if a nuke detonated, if this was real life, and I saw a nuke detonate right the fuck over there, I'm not just gonna stare at it willy-nilly and go, oh, it's so pretty. Like, no, I ain't gonna do that shit. I'm gonna go find some cover. I ain't trying to die today.
I know you're watching.
That's essentially where.
Please don't give him the keys.
Yeah, for the love of God, don't give me the keys. I'll bomb North Korea. Don't try me.
Well, the last question I'd like to ask is, why the avatar you're in? Why is that your main, and why would you main it?
Yeah, so this is my main. So I found this avatar on Gumroad, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very like it suits me, if that makes sense. Like, it's one of those avatars that's just like, yeah, this is me. This is totally me, right? And I bought it, and I don't remember. I think it was like $30, $40. I don't remember, but I bought it and I sent it to one of my avatar creators, and I was like, hey, put the co-owner thing on there, and then also put my logo back there, you know.
Mm.
So anyway, yeah, she did that, and yeah, and I rock this every event that I go to. And if I'm DJing at like a different club, like I could change my clothes to a different color. So like, yeah, I could change it to a different color so that way it hides the co-owner thing. And I can throw on a tank top or something like that, and then I can also like change the colors as well to match the vibe that we're going for, so to speak. But purple, it's a purple hue right now because that's the colors of Junction. So you know, whenever I wear the co-owner stuff and the J3 hat, like everything's purple at this point.
Okay. So last question, I swear. What has been the most memorable moment at Junction?
Oh man, the most memorable moment of Junction is the friends that I've made. Gray, especially. Gray, if you're watching this, brother, like, bro, I cannot thank you enough for, you know, bringing me into not just introducing me into the VR racing, but like also introducing me to you know, just you as a person, and you know, other people as well, because Gray is a funny dude. If you don't know Gray yet, you need to go meet him. He is a funny dude, and he makes me laugh every event that we go to, every time. He would make some, you know, smirky comment or something like that. We were all just die laughing. It's so funny.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that, and thank you for your time. I've enjoyed hearing all about you and your experience and what you do from where you started to Junction. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me out here. It's great to talk with you and talk with
Raptor.
Raptor. Sorry, I have the name kind of hidden a little bit, so I kind of had to look down to be like, hit the pause real quick. But yeah, no, it's great being out here and talking with you guys, and getting a chance to, you know, I guess rant a little bit.
I enjoy hearing rants. So if the audience wishes to reach out, how would they reach out and find you?
Absolutely. So yeah, you can reach out to me on Discord. So my Discord tag is sir_nukey. That's NUKEY. And yeah, and there's no numbers, nothing extra at the end of that, just sir_nukey. And yeah, I'm open for bookings. So if you guys want for me, or if you guys want me to DJ at your event or your club or whatever, even if I'm not associated with that club, you could feel free to hit me up and I'll try to book you guys, or try to you know, get booked with you guys. And also, you know, just general questions as well. You know, I'm my DMs are open, so like, you know, feel free to message me.
Okay. Well, all the links for him and Junction will be down the Hoobly Was It right down that way. And I think Raptor went to do groceries, so he's probably not with us, so I can't have him do a thing. But instead, I'll give you guys a question. Who's your favorite VRchat DJ if you're in the scene or have ever been in the scene? And if not, go and tell me who you saw. Have a good one, folks. See you in the Metaverse.